Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So I'm kind of in a little dilemma to where I feel like I've wasted 10 years of my life.
How?
So long story short, coming out of high school, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with my life. And, I scrambled. I went from nursing, land care, being an entrepreneur. I did a whole bunch of things and found myself in trucking. Now, I've been in trucking for about 4 years. And throughout me trying to figure myself out and going back and forth through college, online courses, and things of that nature, I've tackled on a little bit of debt, which is minuscule compared to others. But I also got into a couple of vices, drinking, smoking, and I guess the biggest one would be gambling. I have 2 sons and a daughter, and I recently popped the question. So now I'm on my last year in my 20s. I turned 30 in November. And now just kind of reminiscing of what went wrong and how many years and days, months, and seconds have I really wasted of just not figuring out life. I don't have a savings. I don't have, if it wasn't for my current employer, I wouldn't even have health insurance. No 401k, no big plans. Most of my life has been basically paycheck to paycheck, just surviving.
You're in a great place.
Yeah, I would say so.
My dad told me growing up, 90% of solving a problem is realizing there is one.
Right, and I realized that, and I've listened to you, guys for a while now. I just never really had the courage to really call. But speaking to my fiance, she said it'd be a good idea. Don't be scared, And from what I've heard, from what I've heard from you guys in the past, especially giving other people advice, you guys are very blunt, and I feel like that's needed. So I'm just kind of just wondering, where should I start?
Okay, so I heard 4 things that you described as problems: smoking, drinking, gambling, and not sticking with a career track. Did I hear that right?
Right.
Okay,
Correct.
If those are the 4 problems, what is causing that? Get down under what's the cause of those things. And I bet it's the same thing as causing all 3 of them. It could be simple immaturity. It could be, you got demons from your childhood chasing you or something. I don't know. Not literal demons, but possibly. But I mean, okay. So, cause I mean, the obvious answer is, it's almost like a joke. Bob Newhart just passed away, but he had a famous routine that he did as a psychiatrist. He wasn't a psychiatrist. He played one on TV, but he would, people would come in and tell him their problems, and he would just yell, "Stop it!"
Mm-hmm.
Just stop it.
Yeah.
And then that'll be $5. Stop it. That'll be $5. And so it's kind of like where you are, right? I mean, it's like, okay, the gambling, the drinking, have you stopped it?
I have. I'll be honest. I'm doubting.
That was a no.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I have stopped. I forcibly stopped myself from gambling. I self-exempt myself, banned myself within Virginia State. So for about 5 years. Of that 5 years, it's been, I want to say, close to 3. I haven't smoked in about a good almost nearly a year, and my last drink was probably last weekend.
Okay,
well,
and so then I guess the other thing you think about is, who are you running around with?
Mm-hmm.
That was that was thinking that this is a good idea, and you're not running around with them anymore because you become who you hang around with.
That's right.
That's true.
Rayshawn, I'm going to be real blunt with you just because you opened up the door, and usually Dave does all the blunt, but I'm going to tell you something. You have been trying to escape a life that you don't enjoy, and you need to start building today a life that you don't need to escape from. Gambling is a rush. It is trying to discover what it feels like to be enthralled.
To win.
That's right. And I think it's building a life. And I know I'm the work guy at Ramsey, but the research backs me up. This is not my opinion. When a human being does something in their day that is meaningful, then they don't need to escape from life. The reward is knowing that you are doing something that matters to you because it matters to someone else. So from a work standpoint, we're going to give you some tools, by the way, because there's a lot to cover here. But I want to give you the Get Clear assessment in the book, Find the Work You're Wired to Do, because it's going to really help you. And then we could also set up a call for you to come on my show where we can go a little bit deeper here. But my friend, what is ailing you is that Dave's right. There's something in your soul that is longing for meaning and purpose, or there's this vision you had of your life that maybe you don't think is possible, and a lot of fear and doubt along this way, these 10 years in your 20s, you've gotten to a point where you didn't think it was possible. And so to medicate, you medicated through alcohol, and you medicated through nicotine, and you've medicated through gambling. And I think Dave's right. Stop it. You don't need to be sad. You need to be mad. And I think a good, healthy sense of self-anger to say, as Dave, you said it on the stage, I'll hand it to you. It's the most powerful thing I've ever heard you say. And I've seen you say it. I feel like I've seen you say it 1,000 times. But it's where you get to a point where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And he's at a great place.
Yeah, you got to say, I've had it.
I've had
I'm
it.
not living like this anymore.
And it's with
and the good news is that you're doing some real manly, masculine things.
Absolutely.
You're taking ownership of this stuff. You're engaged. You're going to be a dad. You're actually going to show up and be a dad, not just father children. There's a difference.
That's right.
You're entering into all of these things. And so what would you do? What's the course on how to do life right that you'd sign up for? Well, I'd get plugged in with some men that are who I want to be when I grow up.
Oh, that's true.
And I would, get a group of guys that I hang out with all the time, because you do become who you hang around with.
So true.
As a matter of fact, folks, the research says that your income over a 10-year period of time will be within 15% of the average of your 10 closest friends' income.
That's right.
And some of you are going, I need some new friends.
It's true.
Well, you might. Okay, it's okay. So that's, and so in my case, what happened with me, Rayshawn, was I got plugged into a good church because I met God. And I met other men that were trying to be men, be good dads, good husbands, and I started learning from them. And so I was hanging out with people who had the same aspirational goals that I had, from a spiritual, emotional, relational, financial, everything, and instead of just hanging out with my drinking buddies. It's a different group of people, I can tell you that. And so that's how I did it, and that's what we'll plug you into a bunch of Ken's materials, though. Hold on, Christian will pick up. We'll get you some of his stuff. The Get Clear assessment with the Find the Work You're Wired to Do book, and the whole thing will help you with all of it. You're a good man. You got a good heart. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.